Greetings, Coach Steve Money here. As usual, waiting for the stream to catch up with the live version of myself. And there we go. We have audio, ladies and gentlemen. We have audio. Alrighty. All right, live from Cabot, Arkansas. This is Answering Your Financial Questions Live number 78. How about that? 78 of these. And do these Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see, how about right to the questions? No, one little plug. Let's plug my songs. If you scroll down to the music section, and you'll see there's about 8 Ramsey adjacent songs here, such hits as the original Baby Step song, John Deloney song, me reacting to John Deloney reacting to the John Deloney song, Rachel Cruz song, that's when it was back when it was just like basically a verse and a chorus, Jade Warshaw song, the Baby Steppin' song, and that's a newer Baby Step song, and that is To Levitating by Dua Lipa, the Lifestyle Creep song, George Camel song. I had a little bit of that forever and finally expanded that into a full-length song, full-length Rachel Cruz song after that. And then that's a clip, just a clip from Baby Steppin' song, and That's What Gives Financial Peace. That's What Makes You Beautiful from the One Direction. That's what gives financial peace. That's what gives financial peace. Boo-doo, boo-doo. Which they ripped off from Summer Nights from Greece. All right, let's get to the questions. Heavy is the crane. They say C-R-A-N-E in the crown, I think. All the Richies say crane. Managing extra money and seeing money in the bank psychology adjustment. All right, ever since for the first time since the pandy, we have extra money. All right, there's going to be more to this. Let's go ahead and open her on up. So the first one, since the pandy, we have extra money, Baby Step 2 flare. We are no longer breaking even or negative right now. And I use every dollar, and to our estimation, we might have $1,200 to $1,400 extra this month. Excellent. I've allocated some to sinking funds like insurance, vet bills, auto maintenance, as we've never been able to do that before, and we still have like $1K extra. Which I know I want to throw at the debt. That's what you do. I'm excited to pay debt down quicker now as we essentially cut our payoff time almost in half, right? That's what can happen when you budget. I opened up the bank this morning, meaning probably his online account, not the actual bank. And saw that we had like $700 left, and we get paid on Friday. We usually have $40 in the bank at this point, and I'm just feeling completely shocked, uncomfortable, scared even about seeing money just be there, since I'm so used to the bank being between $5 to $40 come Thursday. Well, my friend, that is what the normal people do, where they have, sometimes even negative, but it's very average. They have pennies left in the bank. And trust me, I know. So once you see like that much in there, and you think, well, what didn't I pay? But you paid it all. How have those of you who find extra money for the first time handle the mental shift of having more? Well, you don't really on Baby Step 2, because even though you see that there, you know where it's going. It's all going to your dumb, stupid debt. And so you don't really have it. I mean, it's great if you have an emergency or you find an expense that you need to cash flow. That's awesome. But in baby step 2, it's going out the door to debt. Which again is better than, absolutely better than not having it anything to go out there to debt. Husband recently got a new job and his income will almost match mine, which makes a huge difference in our budget. Now, and I'm just kind of scared to believe this is real, like feeling like, when is the next shoe going to drop? Yeah, you got to stop thinking about that catastrophe mentality. You got to stop thinking about that and just start making good decisions, and good things will happen because of it. I don't know. Just how long does it take to psychologically adjust to being able to know you can pay bills and pay off debt quicker? Any thoughts, shares, or tips would be appreciated. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with that because I knew it was from budgeting and being intentional with money and starting the baby steps and trying to pay debt off. And when there was a bunch in there, I also knew it wasn't staying in there. It was going to go see the debt man. So as far as like the psychology, I mean, that can happen, and it also can happen both ways. People go gazelle on the baby steps, and then they don't know how to not be gazelle, and they have a hard time adjusting to that later on. Hello, everybody watching now and in the future. Kindly recognition 12. What would you do? My situation. I, 27 man, have made some poor financial decisions during the first few years of adulthood and gotten myself into a financial sitch that is a bit daunting. I want to recover and live debt / stress free. Okay, great. My question is, where would I start? Baby step 1. Baby step 0, actually, budget. Get on the same page with spouse. The 4 walls, which are transportation, clothes, shelter, and food. Insurances, there's other stuff in baby step 0 as well. And I'll do a video on the missing baby steps at some point sooner than when I started talking about it 6 months ago. Let's see. I have $42K in credit card debt, $64K between a truck and camper. I know, poor decision. Desperately want to get out of the camper. Well, what you do is you put a for sale sign on that, and you list it in Campers R Us or wherever you can list it. Craig's. Even if you can list campers in what is that? Car and not Car and Driver. What is that called? Auto Trader. 168K in private federal student loans. Salary is 1K in a low cost of living region. That'll help. I have 50K in change in retirement currently. My camper and truck are both upside down in loan value. So yeah, I mean, you would still, okay, so things being upside down, that gets people all, oh, well, I can't sell it. I'm upside down in it. Yeah, you can. Say you're $5,000 upside down in it. You either save the $5,000 and then you sell it, and then you have the money to pay it off, and then you can give that person the title, or you get a $5,000 loan, and that is better than having a $64,000 loan between the truck and the camper. So getting a loan for a smaller amount so you can get rid of a larger amount is the only 2 things that Dave will not yell at you about. The second loan being a mortgage for a residence that you live in. No mortgages on rental property. Let's see what this last bit of it is. Does it make sense to get rid of these depreciating risks even if I have to pay 7 to 10K to get out of the loan? Yes, because again, like I say, I would be happy to trade in a 10K loan for the 64,000. I know I probably shouldn't buy a house. That's correct. But looking back, I've spent over $85K in rent during the last 5 years. Yeah, you got to get out of that mentality. No house until you're on step 3B, which is the down payment. Get married in June, so currently I'm able to split expenses and feel like I'm barely able to stay above water. What would you do? Do the baby steps. Do everything Mr. Ramsey says to do without question. Do it all. Millions of documented success stories for Mr. Ramsey. All right. This is from Rosine. Like Roseanne, but with an I. Moving back home with mom to pay off debt faster. Should I do it? I did this one last week. Basically, Dave likes to have adults live on their own. Let's see. Just a Roth IRA with Schwab. Any guidance would help. Looking for exactly what funds. I think the ones that end in X are target date funds, so that's a negatory. You want to get, for retirement, you want to get managed mutual funds that beat the index. And so you're looking at minimum at 10% average per year. I think I might have done this one as well. Sometimes they switch position on me. I know I haven't done the other ones I talked about. I need advice. Been listening to the show a few weeks now. I need a financially sound person to give advice. I think I talked about this. 18. Deeply strained relationship with my parents that live 1,000 miles away. What does that have to do with that? I have very little emotional support is what it has to do with that. I have escape there. All right, maybe I didn't read this one. See what else is up. Father is in a very tough position in life, I guess. Unable to sit up on his own and incontinent. Yeah, that is rough. He needs to move to assisted living but can't afford it. They live off Social Security with no retirement and likely some amount of debt, right? Mother helps him as much as she can. There's no other reliable family nearby. My mother is insufferable and cruel personality. All right. Should I rush my own future retirement savings to help my father? No. I don't know what you mean rush. Maybe that's, I don't know. This might not be English, might not be first language. I feel like I should put on my own oxygen mask first. Yes, but feel guilty. I would advise getting over it. They've had plenty of time to realize the situation that they're going to be in. And so I know other cultures other than us Americans, we Americans aren't into that. But a bunch of other cultures is like anything for family, anything for parents. You're just enabling them most of the time. But now the father is definitely, that is very difficult position to be in that state. But, I mean, how long are you going to keep doing that? Going to keep doing that until he's no longer with us? I'll know it'd be expected to help my mom too at some point, and I resent the idea. It doesn't matter what you're expected to do. You get to do what you choose to do. Is their situation my responsibility to fix? No, it's not. Are they helping you fix your responsibility? No, they're not. Do you have any idea what assisted living costs? A buttload it costs. They tell me $40K a month. Yeah. I'm the only person at work all day without the time to organize their lives and figure it out. They're on a wait list with Medicaid. No telling when he might find placement in a nursing home. Any advice is appreciated. Yeah, I'm putting on my oxygen mask first. And if you can help them a little bit, fine. But you're not like supporting them. And mom knows already that, I would just make sure she knows already. I'm not going to help you. You can make that, and you can say because you're, toxic personality or whatever the word that you use. You can blow up family if you want. Sometimes it's best to do that so you're not exposed to that crap. Muklunky. Best investment options, baby step 3 and beyond. For baby step 2, that would be not investing except in your emergency fund. That's what you would invest in baby step 3, and that's it. You don't go ahead. And you don't buy a house right now. We're buying a house right now while we're on baby step 3. You're doing it wrong. So our next step will be to fully fund our emergency fund. You need to have a full emergency fund before you buy a house, because things are going to go wrong with the house. And if you call your landlord to fix it, your phone's going to ring because you're on the hook for that. And then find investment options for retirement. And you're too many things all at the same time. You do steps 4, 5, and 6 together. You're not there yet. And you shouldn't even be buying the house either. So Wealthfront seems great because it has everything in one. Everything has everything in one. Pretty much. Let's see. And kids' college too. Yeah, because you can open any type of investing account at a brokerage. So let's see. Make sure we're getting into the best investments possible. Now, unfortunately, you're not really going to know that because when you sign up with a particular company that manages it, not just you opening an account at a brokerage and you managing it. When somebody else is going to manage it, they're going to do what they have planned, and a lot of times what they have planned is what makes them the most money. So, and unfortunately, there's not really a good way to know that ahead of time. You can meet with them first and see what they have to say, and if they say any non-Dave stuff, if you care about that, buying a house on baby step 3 does not sound like you care about that much, but anyway, but that's the way that goes. Substance Own 5935. Pay off my car, but ... only 2 dots. There's supposed to be 3 ellipses. I can pay off my car, but I will only have about 2 months of emergency funds in my account if I do that. Yeah, so that was my Bobby Altoff impersonation there. She always says that instead of that. Should I? Yes, because you're only supposed to have $1,000 in there, my friend. So you're doing it wrong. 6 month nest egg is 21. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. How about we do the baby steps in order? Where step 1 is to save $1,000, and that's it. Not a penny more for emergency fund until you are out of debt. K-Slide. Dopamine hit. Struggling with saving money because I'm so used to shopping for a dopamine hit. Has anyone got an example of small purchases which fulfill that dopamine endorphin hit but don't ruin my financial plan? I don't think so, because you're going to know that they're small purchases and you're going to know you're trying to trick yourself. You just have to make yourself do it, in this reporter's opinion. This call was so wholesome. I read that one. Yeah, these switch places, I think, unless I have #dementia. Car versus paying cash. Mind blown. Oh, yeah, I had read this one before. This gentleman, he did the wrong math somehow on his math, and it was like way bad. It's not the car payment versus paying cash math that Dave does. It's a whole different thing about how he would have way more cash in addition to having the car. And so it was, I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of weird thing there, but he did the math wrong on it. And of course he got roasted. How many? 164 people he got roasted in the comments. UK followers. I'm based in UK, 36-year-old female, baby steps follower. Dave, baby steps are really helping me focus, paying off debt. I am on baby step 2. Congratulations. Before I found his videos on YouTube, I did not take money seriously. I'm not remotely religious, but when Dave said the borrower was a slave to the lender, that really got through to me, and I thought, never again. My debts are all on credit cards, listed smallest to largest. We probably don't need to know all the life story, but we get to, as far as, yeah, UK followers, basically the only stuff that's different is what? The free health insurance that you pay way more taxes for, and the investment account names. Some taxes, as I had already said, high taxes, but some like other tax laws might be different, but the principles can work everywhere. Spore 2000, what's wrong with a car loan? Because it goes down into, it depreciates, goes down in value too fast. That's what it is. Let's see, what's the justification station here? A utility vehicle for this stage in life, while I also have a commuter car that gets good mileage. At my stage of life, said that twice in 2 sentences in a row, so that's a big thing for him or her. It is impossible to make these major payments without taking out loans. Well then, yeah, because you don't buy it unless you have cash. And so if you have cash and you only have a little bit of cash, then you don't get a new car or even close to new. You get a Dave car, a beater car. And that's not even the Dave car. Dave said, the hoopty is not the Dave car. The Dave car is the one you buy new in cash once you become a millionaire. That's the Dave car. I understand paying back loans isn't as valuable as money gaining value and interest, right? Right. And so would you rather be paying back a loan and having a new car, or would you rather have a car that's worth a couple $1,000 but money gaining value in investments? Take your pick on that. And then you can do what you want to. It's a free country. And we already know most people are not going to take Dave's advice because it's telling yourself no. It's saying you have to sacrifice to get rid of this debt for this thing we call financial peace. And it is totally worth it. But some people do not think so. And it's their money and their life, so they are more than welcome to do whatever they want to. Muted bank struggling with paying off 0% loan. Well, that's a problem because it's not a 0% loan forever. I'm struggling with the logic of baby step 2 for my student loan. Definitely try to improve upon a plan that has millions of documented success stories and that has worked for 30 years. Definitely try to think about the logic of it instead of just following it because it works. Definitely do that. 15,000 in student loan, 0 interest permanently. How is it permanent? How is that permanent? That is interesting. My monthly payments are 0 for the first 3 years. My employer pays off $5,000 over that period. After that, there'll be about $30 a month for that. Where are they from? Employer makes up the rest. Unless you get fired, what about that? Also, that's $30 of my paycheck, so I never need to worry about forgetting to pay. This payment isn't part of my paycheck, but a benefit. So if I don't have the loans, I don't get the cash. I was just going to pay it lump sum before I landed this job. Yeah, you don't take out a loan just because your employer is going to pay off a loan. And also make sure you understand how it works. Employers, most of them pay tuition. They reimburse you for tuition, not for getting a loan. And so that's a crazy employer there if those are the terms. But I still wouldn't do it, even if that is the case. But that person doesn't care. All right, Meta 317, term life insurance and long-term disability is what LTD stands for. Hi there. Hi, guys. I'm curious about what others' thoughts. I'm self-employed. I have a young family and 37 years old. I'm on baby step 2. I really think it's a good idea to get term life insurance and long-term disability. I may have talked about this one too. But there's only so many different financial questions, so the same thing's going to come up. I can fit this in my budget. I will have some margin and can use that to have this in place. I won't be done with baby step 2 until early 2026. I would at least go until then without doing it, but I don't think you need the long-term disability. It depends on the age. Depends on how old you are. Leaving a job before vested is from K McCourt 423. And that means like your employer, Amazon was like this, where they would match you immediately, but you had to work for 3 years to be able to get all of that match. So you would get 3 years of match if you worked there 3 years. If you worked there less than 3 years, you would get donut for match. Let's see, is it worth it to stay at a job until you're vested? It depends on how long you got to stay there. 401k becomes vested at 3 years. With 3 years, June 2025. So that is a year and a little over a year. So why not? Why wouldn't you? Especially if it's, like I said, like Amazon, if they started counting the match day one, then yeah, why wouldn't you stay there for a little bit over a year at least? 78K, I'll be 24 soon. I have 25K in my Roth, 8K in 401, excluding my match, which there is none until you get vested. Approximately 24K including the match. Okay. So that's 16K. So that's up to you. You can also, if you're getting if at a different job you would be making more money, that's going to make some of that up. You might want to include that in your calculations. But I mean, basically it's up to you. Do not like my job. I don't hate it, but definitely plan to leave for a different career path. Paid off student loans and car loan. Great. My biggest complaint in my current job is the schedule, not the schedule that I applied for. And my biggest fear is the financial loss. Well, you applied for a schedule and then they said work here and then gave you a schedule and you still went there. The time to say that's not the one I applied for would have been immediately. But of course some people might think, oh, well, if I just work this schedule that they want me to, then I'll be able to move over. That doesn't happen in all companies. Jessica Lynn, 77, my own modification of the baby steps. Excellent. Let's see what this is. They think they can improve it. I know a lot of people are sticklers for the baby steps exactly as they are. Yes, because that works. Your changes have not been proven to work. The fact is, times have changed. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if times have changed. People, you can say that all you want to. Prices are higher, things cost more. Yes, they are. And prices were higher and things cost more 5 years after Dave started giving this advice. And it still worked. 10 years after this advice. So everybody thinks that now is bad. Now is worse than it ever has been. And so now is when the point that the baby steps don't work. And so I almost said Davy steps. That would have worked for a name for me as well. So this might be considered Dave-ish. And you know it's going to be. Why would you say might? Why would you say might? Because of that. Do what you want with it. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with saving more than what Dave recommends. You don't need the word what there. I hate it when people do that. First time I heard somebody do that, I think it was Troy Aikman on Monday Night Football. You just say saving more than Dave recommends. You don't need what in there. That's an extra word. Stupid. This is my own modifier of the baby steps. Baby step 0, Dave's advice, get current. We're doing a whole thing? I don't care. I don't care. It's just like you don't care what Dave advises, so it's fine. Grad student 9690, Marcus drops it is free English lesson 2 for you kids. No apostrophe. If you put the apostrophe in there, it is. It's not it's showing ownership. Marcus drops its high yield savings account. Annual percentage rate. Yep, 244 from 4.5. Right after I put the money in there. So getting 5.4 referral. Not sure if I just did it bad timing, or do they do this to everyone? I don't know. Should I move it to Wealthfront or keep it there for 3 months? I'm making $10.5 to $12 less per month now. Still, I don't know if this is the best option. Others like T-bills, etc., are better. No, it depends on what that's for. If that's your emergency fund, you got to have full access to it, full immediate access to it. If it's just extra savings, grad student, if you have debt, you're not doing anything like this savings. You're paying off your debt and not taking out anymore. Gray Panther, 1989, need guidance to pay off car loan. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Let me read that one more time. Need guidance to pay off car loan. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6. That would be false. Let me get those up here. Let me scroll to those on here. So baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And this says car loan. Car loan is step 2. And this person is saying they are in steps 4, 5, and 6. That, my friend, is going to be false. That's baby step 2 for you. Now, you may be doing 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time too, but in that case, where did I put it? I moved it. There it is.
You're doing it wrong.
You get an umbrella. And why not?
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
That's right. All right. So let's see what's going on. Hey, I recently picked up a car loan. It was laying on the street. Had to pick it up for $26.7K for a 5-year-old vehicle, but with low miles. I've definitely justification station here always. I've definitely saved about 10K plus going this route. I'm current. You could have saved 26.7K by not buying the freaking car, by not getting a loan. Currently selling another vehicle privately for around 15K, which leaves us with about 12K left on the financing. Our current payment is at $480 a month, and the first payment doesn't kick in till 1st of May. Again, justification station. We received in the mail an offer for a loan up to 12K with 0% for 9 months of 4% interest for 12 months. Does it mean or 4% for 12 months? Do we take that offer and wait for another offer to come through later or on in the year to keep the interest as low as possible? What you do is you figure out exactly what baby step you're on first. And if you get a car loan, you're not on baby steps 4, 5, and 6 anymore. You're on step 2. Actually, you're not really on any step because you're not following the baby steps, so it doesn't matter. Comfortable bat 985.6 wife on board, but there might be a big but too, and I cannot lie. Hello, I've been Davish for 6 years, falling off the wagon over and over. I never really had someone to lean on. Lean on me. And in 2020, I was doing good, doing well. Doing good is what Superman does. But then COVID happened. So now I am married and my wife, how does COVID, people blame so many things on COVID. What is up with that? What is the deal with the pandy? So now I am married and my wife and I combined finances, great, and have been talking up doing the Ramsey system for 3 years now. Yesterday we had a incident. After talking, we both spit shook. Okay, interesting. and agreed on no more debt and submitting ourselves to the plan. Self-viz, okay, to the plan. However, after going through the budget and snowball, we went through each baby step just to see what they are like together. What does that mean? Oh, did you separate stuff and go through it like that? That is weird. On the fully funded emergency fund, she saw me set it to a lot. Oh, but I reassured her we don't do this yet. All right. And again, English not working so well. And then she made the comment, why don't we increase the starter emergency fund? Well, because you see, what it says right there is $1,000 for that. $1,000 not enough to cover any real emergency. So we discussed how this is the plan to follow, and you don't change the plan. However, she wants to do $100 a month sinking fund for emergencies after we get the $1,000 for her to feel secure. Now, either she is confused on the baby steps or thinks I am pulling out these numbers for the baby steps from thin air. You can show her the graphic on the Ramsey Solutions website. It's right there and it's free. You can follow these. These are right there on their products. 7 baby steps right there. You can see them for free. It's right there. You don't have to spend one single dime. Either way, I feel like we need to have another discussion. Yep. Anytime you feel like that, that means you do. But it will be a fight because this was a settled matter for all intent and purpose. Intents and purpose says. I really work so hard. Okay, the problem is when in a marriage, you can't say, oh, I found these baby steps, even though it's a fabulous idea to do. You can't say, oh, I found these baby steps and this is what we're going to do. And so now this is what we're going to do. And so now we're going to sit down and discuss the budget, but I already did it. That's not how it's supposed to work there. You're supposed to talk to your spouse there. And if you have any kind of disagreement, then you compromise. And instead of a $3,000 emergency fund, if she will do the steps with putting an extra $100 a month sinking fund for emergencies as well. So I'm taking that deal if I'm you. Let's see. But I really worked hard. Yeah, and so long. And finally, after this incident, she is on board fully. Oh, really? Oh, except for $100 a month. Okay, well, talking about you really worked so hard, so you did everything. You got your, your hopes up that she was just going to do it the way you wanted her to do it, which granted is the way that Dave suggests, and that is the best way to do it. Is that worth wrecking this? I would say no. That's why I said I would take that deal. Or is it okay to just say, hey, that is the fee I'm paying to make my wife feel comfortable enough to do this? Yeah. And that's the way you have to do that on any situation, not just money, anything. That's what you have to do when you are married. That's how it works. And you talk to her even before you ask Reddit what they think about it. Although I appreciate you putting that in there because that lets me talk about it. Put worried, 1465, cash heavy. Where would you invest $50K in the short term with a long-term investment mindset? You really can't do it like that. If it's for short term, you're left with the high yield savings account as probably the maximum you're going to make on it. So maybe a little bit less than 5% on that. And so yeah, that's going to be about the most. Obviously, you don't have this situation if you have any debt at all. 37 men and have about 200K sitting in cash. 550K portfolio. Okay, 115K remaining on the mortgage. So you're doing it wrong again. So this person, I don't have much interest in paying down due to the great rate. Well, you're doing it wrong. So again, I don't have time for you. That's fine. Why do you need to get input on it if you're doing it wrong and you say I don't have interest in doing it the right way? So why put it in the Dave Ramsey subreddit? I'm sure you could put it in the debt leverage subreddit and get all the justification you want. Although not justification, get all the validation you want. Keycan 9062. Can I afford a motorcycle or am I being emotional? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's both no and yes. No and yes on that. Or it could be yes to both of them. We'll see. For context, I'm 29 man, wife 28 female. I have been stressed for various reasons in my life and would love to be able to buy a sport bike. Right, the sport bike is going to help with your stress. If you have debts and other stuff where the money should go to instead, that would not help me feel less stressed. I found a Chanda. A Chinese Honda. Is that an actual thing? Or is that a colloquialism? On Amazon for $1,700. That is actually decent, believe it or not. And I feel like it would be a good starter bike until I can learn the ropes and upgrade to a 600 750cc. I don't even know what that means for bikes. At the same time, I feel incredibly guilty about spending this money as it is for pleasure. You should, depending on what your baby step situation is. I don't really do or travel much, and outside of the initial purchase price, I feel like on baby step 3, no, you finish the emergency fund first on baby step 3, and then you start 4, 5, and 6, and then you can budget in or start a sinking fund to buy a freaking bike. But $1,700 for a bike? You can buy a sport bike for way cheaper than that. Also, you got to watch out for third-party sellers on Amazon. Hey, guess what? They're not all legit. Lizard, lots of numbers. 798 65 8866. That their social security number? What in the world? How do you get out of debt if you have a gambling addiction? You have to be more addicted to good advice and to wanting to not be addicted to gambling. I'm interested in how to tackle this challenge. I'm in debt, currently making about $1,600 to $1,700 every 2 weeks after tax. The problem is I use every penny to fund my gambling addiction. Now that can be a problem. Probably counseling then if you can't help it. I'm currently $30K in debt and negative $499.99 my checking account overdraft. Yeah, anybody that uses the overdraft, I think personally, does have an addiction to that. I mean, I guess some people do it because they don't have the money and they just want to pay the electricity payment, and so for that. But this is different though. But hopefully it's good that you caught it only $30K and $30K and $500 in debt, because that's debt. Let's see, is there any advice on how to tackle this debt? We'll say Gamblers Anonymous, yes. But I won a lot over the years and it never helped me. Should I get another job? Yes, that will give you less time to gamble, and also you can make more money to do the baby steps, but you're still going to need some kind of counseling or something like that. If you can't stop with Gamblers Anonymous, I'm I don't know that you're going to be able to stop by yourself either, not doing anything like that. So counseling, but yeah, get another job. Stay busy so you don't have time to gamble. Love donkey butts. Okay. Not sure where to go from here. So I have questions about my current state of affairs. Okay. I'm a 38 man with a job that pays about $110K a year. Recently divorced. Through my divorce, I was able to keep my home, which is an 4-bedroom house. I have 2 young kids who are 3 and 5. Remaining mortgage, $288K. My current budget leaves me about $700 left over each month. Maybe we bought too much house. But that's after spending about, let's see, 110, 288 on the remaining. 220. It's close. I mean, but if that's gross, then yeah, you probably you're overspending on the house. So you could move down in house. But that's about after spending about $1,600 to $2,000 on child support and child care each month. Also, after my mortgage of $2,200 each month, there's not a whole lot left over after my big expenses. I have no car payments or student loans. You don't need any, so thank goodness. I have about $10K in savings. You're doing it wrong. Oh, he said doesn't have any debt though, except the house, I guess. So good. Through my divorce, I was able to keep my home, which is a 4-bedroom house. So yeah, so you can go to a 2-bedroom apartment and the kids can sleep in the same room. They're 3 and 5. They can sleep in the same room. So yeah, maybe I'm saying you don't get to keep the house. Sorry. No car payments, student loans, or anything like that. Okay. But the 10K, okay, so you don't have to do anything with the 10K savings. You do need an emergency fund. All my other money is currently tied up in my Roth and traditional IRAs. Question is, can I continue down this path only taking home $700 a month? I mean, that's up to you if you're going to sacrifice on everything else. You can keep the house, but if you don't want to, leaving a little room to take vacation, contribute to retirement or anything else. Yeah, if you want to retire, contribute to your retirement, you probably got to move down in house. Or get a different job that pays less and maybe spend less on childcare. I don't know how you getting a different job that pays less to spend less on childcare. I don't know what that means. Oh, because you're working, and so I mean, I guess if that's not gonna be a net loss doing that. I don't really want to sell the house because I worked so hard to keep it. Tough. That's too bad. Too bad. This isn't really in my comfort zone to take home so little. Also cut out little expenses like gym, life insurance. That's not advised. Phone 90, dental insurance, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is fine to cut out. I'm sure there's others. Yep. I'd be open to working another job, but I take calls for my primary one, so would need something I can leave at the drop of a hat so I can go to my main work. Yeah, the Uber Eats, any other type of delivery that you can do just when you have time, that you get to choose the hours for. So yeah, if there was any debt, it would be over. If you had any debt other than the house, it would be over. But yeah, I think I would sell the house and have more margin in your life, and also be able to contribute to retirement, which is a good thing to do. It is advised by Mr. Ramsey. Caveman Baller, selling car to pay off mortgage. I'm on baby step 6, paying off a $100K mortgage, and the thought of selling car came up. I have a 2022 Toyota 4Runner that can get me around $45K. The car is paid off, and I would purchase a cheaper car for around $10K. Okay. I would love to pocket the 35 to invest or pay off. You would pay off the house with the extra money. You would not invest that. Am I being too rash by downgrading vehicles? No, if you want to pay off the house faster, but you even thinking to invest, I mean, what is that all about? So I understand wanting to do the baby steps of getting that mortgage paid off, but otherwise, why would you think about downgrading in car? Well, what made you think of that? I'm wondering. I feel completely owning the home quicker will lead me into wealth much quicker. Then don't freaking ask about investing with it. Make up your mind. Mortgage is at 8%. Already maxed out Roth and 401. 8 is a lot. 401k this year. Would throw most of the proceeds in a brokerage until I can pay off mortgage. That's not how you do that. How you do that is you put it towards the mortgage. Okay. Don't do lump sum payments. You're better off paying the mortgage first. Pay it. Disclaimer 777 CC. Dave Ramsey, Sacramento. I used to listen to Dave on 6:50 a.m. Sacramento, but it seems like it was replaced by politics. Does anyone know another spot to listen to the show? Yeah, it's called RamseySolutions.com. It's called YouTube. Huge fan of Noel and his energy. Noel during COVID. I don't know who that is. Probably some other finance. Well, it's not necessarily finance related. Okay, positive energy. Some kind of influencer guy that does videos and such. I guess I'm one of those guys too. Ambitious Fast 9588. We had another question by that person, didn't we? Need help. So I make about $100K a year, but I seem to never have any money saved or left. I have 3 kids with a spouse that doesn't work at the moment. Because it's cheaper for her to stay home than to work and pay daycare. Yep, that can happen. So, but maybe she can do something while the kids are sleeping or at night, perhaps. I have a bunch of little knick-knack bills also. Get rid of the knick-knack bills. At this point, I pay for everything. What can I do to help myself and save some money? Go through the budget. Cut out everything that's not a necessity. And then if you have extra money after that, then you can add some of those non-necessities back in. But if you're having debt, you're not doing that. You're just going to put everything extra to the debt anyway. Educational Spell 758. We just receive a $100K gift. What to use it on? You apply any extra money to whatever baby step you're on. So that could be any one of these right here, which is right next to your question. Let's see. We're both debt free and have our emergency fund fully funded. Excellent. We recently just purchased a home and have $440K left to pay. There you go. Should we put all this new money towards our mortgage? Unless you have need to address kid college. If you need to do that, you can put some of it towards that, but probably the most of it would go to the house. Invest it. We don't have much money invested into retirement. You should be doing 15% of gross income into retirement while putting all extra money to the mortgage. And of course, addressing kid college if that exists. Rhythmic strategy. Should I be responsible for helping my adult, age 30, daughter financially? No. Daughter's married. They're gainfully employed, so no. Didn't even have to read the specifics. There's no need. You don't have to. KKDSS. Close car loan or invest the amount for 3 years. You pay off the car. That way you're not paying the interest on that and then trying to out-earn it elsewhere. Dumb. Just pay it off, and then you will have extra money with that car payment to apply with whatever baby step you're on, and eventually you can be able to invest more money on that. So again, that I don't need to read any of this other stuff, or could make a little more if broke people always trying to make a little bit more money. And how has that worked out for you so far? Not so good, apparently. Zealous Ideal Cal 6626, reducing monthly investments contribution to afford life comfortably. All right. So I contribute $500 to my 401k monthly, $700 to my Roth IRA, $300 to my high yield savings account, and when I have extra, I'd invest at least $200 in individual stocks, no single stocks. ETFs, no. Crypto, no. I currently make $4,500 a month and am about to start renting again, which would be $2,000 a month. Plus other variable. $2,000 a month is a lot. Rent cheaper than that. My goodness. Plus other variable and fixed expenses, that adds up to $1,000, which in just expense is $3,000, right? So if I keep all my investments as is, I end up minus $200 a month. Well, obviously you can't do that. So I'm thinking until I make more money in 2 years while I try to finish my master's, I might have to bring down my investment. Yeah, you can, in order to not take on more loans. And in order to do the baby steps, you wouldn't be doing investing anyway. If you have any loans, you wouldn't be doing that. But other than that, yeah, you don't want to be apartment poor, my friend. So I would say don't do that. And unless you're on step 4, then you don't want to do that. Let's just dive in here for a second and see what's up. Just want to see if he says if he makes, or zealous. Just seeing if he's added what he makes, or if he has any debt. Nope, didn't. All right, I was just wondering about any debt, because that would really, but I mean, you know, let's say benefit of the doubt. Give them the benefit of the doubt, but despite the crypto and the worship of the ETF, and even the thinking of, so if I keep all my investments as is, I end up negative $200 a month. Just to even type that is really weird, because you can't do that. Student loans, living ad, H754 student loans, pay them off. Only debt I have is $2,800 in private student loans and $28,000 in federal student loans. Federal student loan interest rates doesn't matter, while the private loan interest rate doesn't matter. Would you wait to buy a house? Yes. Baby step 3B, save a down payment for a house, is after full emergency fund and after paying off all non-mortgage debts for a reason. I make $80K a year and I would be looking to buy a house for $150K ballpark. That is fine. You can actually handle on $80K. That'd be about, yeah. Something like that. So that's a good ballpark. You can actually probably go a little bit more on the mortgage if you wanted to, but you got to be out of debt and have a full emergency fund, 6-month emergency fund. Somebody linked Dave Call there. Special beneficial. 297, Roth and retirement questions. I have a set of what might be silly questions, okay? But my background, I just officially maxed out my Roth IRA for 2023. Excellent. Yes, you can still do that until tax day, so we still do have, about 10 days left? Something like that. 9 days left to max out that Roth IRA for 2023 if you haven't. You can still contribute to last year's tax deferred investment account. What am I doing? Trying to open up to that. There we go. I'm supposed to be having one. I'm 23 years old. He's this many. I was excited after this and looked up a Roth IRA calculator. I played it safe with the numbers I plugged in, but figured the 6,500 starting amount with 3,000 contributed annually. The Roth, it's up to 7,000 for those under age 50, which 23 is. That is 7,000 now, but why is it only going to be 3,000 invested annually with a 7% expected return? He said he was playing it safe with the numbers. However, I have my account diversified at the moment with VIMVIP. People love to say what their things are, which all are returning over the 7% mark. Yes, and managed funds are probably kicking those butts as well. You just got to find them. They exist. They're out there. As well as I plan on contributing more per year. But was amazed with how exponential the growth becomes once you start getting closer to 70 and up. But when I got married, assuming my wife and I have the financial ability to both contribute a significant amount of money to our own Roth IRAs, could a married couple live off of one of the Roths in retirement while never touching the other one? It's possible, depending on how much you have in there. If it's enough to live off of, obviously, it would have to be enough. Say my wife and I are both now in our late 70s and up. Now there is this account just growing at an incredibly rapid rate, which has never been touched. Is there any penalty for having an account and never touching it for a decade plus after turning 59.5? You cannot do that. I think after 3 years, I can't remember what it is, but after that, the government is like, yeah, we're not going to let you just have money there. We're going to need you to put that into the economy and such. So we're not going to have that just sit there. So they have what is called RMD, required minimum distribution. And so that means you have to take X amount out of it every single year. But you could leave it other than that required minimum. Another question would be, is there any penalty or restrictions on pulling money out of one spouse's Roth IRA in retirement years and then contribute into the other spouse's? You cannot contribute anymore once you are retired, once you're retirement age. You might be able to until 60 something. I don't know if that stops at 59 and a half as well. I'm not sure, but it's somewhere in there. And so you can't do that, but you would then, at that point, you would just, if you wanted to invest, you would just open a standard brokerage account and it wouldn't be tax deferred. Alrighty. And that is going to do it for today's show. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Hold on, don't leave yet. Let me get my plugs. Doing the plugs. All right, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That's a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the whole wide world. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, to Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney, and to Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also email. You can ask me about questions about anything regarding coaching or anything on my YouTube channel. I have many varied interests on there. You can have me on the gram at Coach Steve Money, and of course, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money is the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting. And of course, as I get rid of my plugs that are in the way, make smart financial decisions every day.